it happen.
All microphones are on.
Yeah, we're all good. Right.
Okay.
Welcome back to the What's the Worst That Could Happen property podcast.
I'm Charlotte and he's Dave, and we're joined today by Matt from Smart House.
Hello.
How's it going, Matt?
Yeah, it's going well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. All good. How are you, Charlotte?
I'm all right. It's great to see Matt here. We've worked together recently on a project, and Matt's doing well to be on the other side of it, not totally fatigued, because there was a lot of hard work to get open for the launch date. So big hat off to you. Well done. You've made it to the other side of your new showroom.
I am totally fatigued, for sure. And it's been a real come down, for want of a better phrase, since it's all been completed. But yeah, out the other side and still going.
Yeah, look forward to hearing more about it. So for anybody that doesn't have an awareness of Smart House as the brand and the business, what is it all about?
So we deliver audiovisual solutions, bespoke solutions and integrations for mainly domestic properties, some commercial. And we usually get involved at the beginning of the construction project, and we'll design audio-visual solutions for that property to give the best outcome at the end for the customers.
And usually that audio-visual solution, that's your lingo to describe the fittings, fixtures, equipment, operation of components in the property that will give them a different lifestyle. Like, can you give an example of what one of those things is?
Well, so we cover a lot of different technologies within a home. We don't do the electrical side, but on all the entertainment really. So, and security services and automation. So to all the things that make the house enjoyable at the end of the project. So we go from the essentials like Wi-Fi distribution, networking, security cameras, alarm systems, gate entry systems, things like that.
Yeah.
All the way up to integrated audio, hidden, TV screens and visual solutions, as well as home cinemas, and everything in between, really. Automated lighting and automation for the property, so that you can, if the customer wants to do it, they can press one button and a lot of things happen within that property to make their life a little bit easier, really, and make the operation of the property a little bit easier on these larger projects.
Awesome. So have you always done this kind of thing then?
I've been going I was a manager in the NHS for about 9 years from school, trained up and ended up being a manager in the NHS, but that moved on from that to very basic satellite and aerial installations, working for Sky actually originally. Did that for about 3 years, and then moved into a lot of opportunity coming up. People were asking me to do private work, and I moved into satellite and aerial installations personally for myself on some projects, and then that business has just evolved into what it is now. So we started doing a few cameras, Wi-Fi systems. We've mainly self-taught, but undertaken a lot of courses over the years, and 18 years is a long time, and over that period we've grown into a company that can pretty much do anything with regard to those systems I just spoke about.
Amazing. I didn't realise you had such a vast background of things that you've been doing, and you obviously started out on your own, and then now how many guys are on the road?
We've got 5 guys on the road, myself, an operations manager and an administrator. Yeah,
so you're a big team of 8 people in your amazing new showroom in Wadebridge, which you are going to tell us a lot more about, and that's open as well, isn't it, for bookings, viewings by appointment?
Yeah, walk-ins are fine too if we're around, but ultimately, it's been open a couple of weeks. We're still always, given the level of complication to what we do and what we want to show, we're always still tinkering with things to make it spectacular, I'd say, for to really show what's possible when the end users or the architects or the interior designers or those professionals come in. But it's been open a couple of weeks. We've been showing it off for a couple of weeks. It's very good as it is. It will continue to evolve over the next 6 months at least.
Yeah, and that's mostly in the side of the technology or communicating behind the scenes, all that work that's gone on before any plasterboard was even thought about.
Yeah, we've tried to future-proof it, which is very difficult when you're building a showroom, because you want to show every technology that's available. And so we've tried to future-proof it on the first fix element. But it's a great finished product. There's always things we can do to run light shows, automation shows and things like that, which is actually what we're developing at the moment.
Awesome. So speaking about an evolving industry, what's the future? What does the future hold? What are you excited about?
What am I excited about? There's a few things that you've got to take into consideration that are worrying, really. Or, AI, for example, when it comes, whether it's worrying or whether it's actually an opportunity, I'm not sure. Time will tell. But artificial intelligence is set to probably in the next 5 to 10 years take over a lot of that automation programming, which is probably a good thing. Customers may then be able to automate the houses themselves by talking to a bot or an AI bot. So that's an interesting development. Robotics, I think robotics are going to be into people's homes, certainly in the US in the next 5 to 10 years, where people have personal robots doing bits and pieces around the house. That's guaranteed to happen. That may then filter through to the UK market, and that's a lot of people think that the people like ourselves, companies like ourselves, will be maintaining that and integrating that into the homes. So that's an interesting development. Again, worrying for me. I've got 2 small kids at home, and I don't really like the idea of any of that. But that's the way life is going. I think you're going to have home assistants that are doing your dishes and washing your car and cutting your grass and all those things. That's the future for sure.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I've got Philips Hue at home, and my missus hates it.
Right.
But I
hate Philips Hue too. But carry on.
I think it's great.
It is.
When you watch a film, I play a lot of computer games. I'm a bit of a secret geek. So I put the Philips Hue on. It all mimics whatever's on the screen. I think it's great.
Yeah. I'm going to stop the bus because I don't know what Philips Hue is, and there might be people listening that don't. So what is that?
So Philips Hue is basically, it's a box that reads your TV screen and the colours on your screen, and then that reflects it within the lighting in the room.
Oh, right, okay.
So if you've got a dark screen, let's say with a torch on one side of the screen and that torch pans over to the other side of the screen, your whole room will follow that light.
Interesting.
So it's absorbing, actually. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't aware of that. I knew it coloured based on the colour of the screen. It put a glow around the screen. I wasn't aware that it actually gave you that three-dimensional light.
Yeah. So I've got the lighting all around me. So yeah, it's an expensive bit of kit, but I love it.
When is the right time for somebody to engage with you and find out what you can do and whether they want to work together?
Well, I was just going to, on your point there, automation and automating lighting and your TV and all the things in your house can be done as a retrofit solution. A lot of our lighting solutions, Lutron we use a lot of the time, which is a very established, or the most established lighting brand. In the 60s, they invented the dimmable switches and lighting, for example. So they've been around a long time. They've just bought a range that is completely retrofittable. So you can take off your existing light switches and fit their intelligent keypads, and then you can directly dim and control local circuits as well as all the circuits around the property from that keypad. So there are solutions from a retrofit perspective, but ideally we would be in when the architect's got some plans on the table. We've got a showroom, as you've mentioned. We bring people into our showroom, establish what the customer's outcomes or desired outcomes are for the property. And then we work on a design there and then, taking those things into consideration and account, and then apply that. If the customer's happy to proceed with our quotation and proposal, we will then put that onto all the plans and provide that back to the architects, and then manage the project with the guys on site to make sure everything's done correctly and the outcomes are what the customer expects.
Amazing. Do you find sometimes with, I see this with my clients, that if they've not planned out their furniture and they know what their furniture is, they really struggle to see actually where they need their lights, their light, plug sockets, where they actually want the light to drop. Do you come up against that much with the clients? Because you might be talking about where to put the television and they don't know what size sofa they're going to have. Is that a barrier sometimes? Definitely.
If you've not got a layout plan with a good interior designer or the architect, if they're doing that element, it makes things difficult for us, because if they don't know how the room's going to be orientated, we don't know where to put our equipment. So in a lot of cases, we're doing a project at the moment, for example, they've got a cinema room, but they don't know the layout of the furniture. So we've done a draft proposal and a costing, which they've accepted for that cinema room, but we cannot give the electricians that undertaking first fix any details of where to put that equipment at the moment, because we don't know the seating plan.
Do you use Google and Alexa, or is that a kind of basic system? You use something else?
For control?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. All of our systems, even if it's, as you say, Philips Hue, as you were talking about earlier, down to our Lutron systems, which are just the lighting and blinds with a little bit of control in there. Those systems can easily be integrated by the end user directly into their preferred voice service. So Siri, Alexa, and any of the others in between. You just install the skill, as it were, and it pulls all that information that we've already pre-programmed into that, and then you can just voice control those systems. I like it. I find I go through phases where I use it and then phases where I don't use it so much. Once my kids work out what words to use and how to run the house on it, I usually change the wake word and stuff, but a lot of our customers don't like it, so we don't integrate that at the end of the project. And I'd say 99% of our customers don't like, high net worth individuals. They don't like the idea of being listened to, I guess. So as a rule, we don't integrate it with the voice services, but I have and I would. And that's actually something we're working on today, this afternoon. We've got some architects coming in at the showroom. And actually, I want to show that, Alexa, open the blinds, Alexa, good morning. And it runs a lighting scenario, a blind scenario, plays some music, which all integrates with our automation system.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds really good. Really interesting. I love all this sort of stuff.
With us being in Cornwall and a lot of buildings and specifically new, like one-off, amazing homes that are being built, there's a lot of glazing.
Yeah.
And it can be an oversight, can't it, to get to the end and then realise that the sun, the UV, damaging furniture, destroying fabrics, just the actual heat needs some control, and the blinds that you offer through Lutron, the brand you work with, and there's others, I think, aren't there? So,
yeah.
But, the service that you offer to automate that, particularly, let's say, if homeowners aren't in during the day and then they, want to be able to have that just drop when it gets so hot. Is that possible? Could a thermometer indicate that the blinds need to drop?
Absolutely. You have you have Lutron themselves produce a thermostat and a light sensor. You attach it to the window. It'll automate. You can then program that to do whatever you want. So if it's particularly bright, they'll drop them halfway. If based on a time of day, for example, as well. So yeah, there's a solution for everything. And that's the thing. It's knowing what the customer wants at the end of the project, so that we can then build that plan at the beginning of the project. So for a sensor, for example, you've got to run a cable to that window bay to be able to wire that sensor in, that will then inform the system based on the time of day, based on a light level. It will automate a process. We were doing a hotel recently, and again, they wanted that solution. They wanted the lights to be a certain brightness based on the brightness of the day, and they wanted the blinds to come down based on the brightness. So we put a sensor by the window, and we wrote the programming, which sounds complicated. It is a little bit, but it's relatively straightforward if you know what you're doing. So we built that program into it, so that again the staff haven't got to look and make that judgment. It just automates itself, and it keeps the room temperature correct, keeps the guests comfortable. So it's good, certainly good. I wouldn't say that applies a lot of time in a domestic setting, but certainly in a commercial setting there's uses. Yeah.
Well, if it's a second home maybe, and people are away, then that's quite practical to know that that's taken care of.
Yeah, and they can remotely control all of this anyway through their mobile device. They've got full control of the whole property through one interface, one application. They can control every aspect of the home if they go for a full automation system. But yes, you can automate those things. So for example, at home I've got automated blinds in my kids' bedroom. So I've got a couple of kids, and they at 3 a.m. the blinds will shut automatically. So if it's hot in the summer, we can leave the windows open, let all the air blow through, keep the rooms cool. But at 3 a.m. those blinds will shut, so that when the sun comes up, it's not waking them up in the morning. And then at 7 a.m. if they're not out of bed, the blinds will start creaking up inch by inch. So they've got natural light, they're waking up to that. 7 a.m. is ambitious, they're usually up at about 5, but if that ever becomes a problem with their teenagers...
You've got control.
Well, we've got control, which, but also, 7 o'clock they should be out of bed, right? So
the blinds get the fuck up.
The blinds will raise slightly to give a bit of natural light, encourage them, let's say, to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll scream and shout and then put them back down again, but there's lots of things you can do.
Yeah.
So actually then, what we're thinking about there with circadian rhythm, is that right, circadian, or is it circadian?
I believe,
circadian.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that actually what the home automation service is bringing them can benefit their lifestyle and their well-being.
That is the whole Lutron specifically, and I keep referring back to them, but they have a program. So they've just brought out a new product, which is Lumaris. So it's a lighting product. So understanding just the Lutron brand will control your lighting and your blinds. So your light levels, right? Every aspect of light within that space. They just brought out a product which is called Lumaris, which are drivers that can do RGB, any colour, for a bit of funky lighting, but also they can go from warm white to cool white. So in the mornings when you want things bright, it'll knows the time of the day, right? This system knows the time of day, knows the position of the sun based on the astronomical clock. So it'll close the blinds based on where the sun's positioned. It'll bring your lights on nice and bright, so a cool white in the morning, and then in the evening after 6, if it knows the sun's setting or the sun has set, it will slowly and gradually warm that light, so it makes it all cozy and warm feeling. So in the morning you get that bright light, and then in the evening it will tone your light based on the time of day to improve your circadian rhythm. That's the idea of it, really. It's quite a nice feature anyway. It's nice to be in a space where nighttime you go into a cozy room and it's all warm. But actually the idea of that is based on improving people's health and lifestyle through the circadian rhythm.
I always say when I'm working with clients on design projects that the light is so important to understand the artificial and then the natural light as well, and how to enhance it, make it so much better for lifestyle. So for anybody that might be thinking, I don't want like spotlights, downlights, LED lights all over my house, like I actually like light fittings. How does this work with fittings? And I know some of this obviously from our work together in the showroom, but for somebody that might be thinking downlights aren't my thing.
So downlights are fully dimmable from 1% to 100% with these systems, with a dimmer switch, So I'm one of those people. I do not like, if I'm working, I've got an office there, and if I'm under 2 downlights above my head, I really hate that lighting personally. As you say, lighting's key. Lighting at my home is key. It's one of the most important things about making a space feel nice, whether it be natural light or whether it be ambient light. We use a lot of LED tapes, discreetly installed in shelves and under counters, floor level, to give that light, but not be an intense light. So again, you can base it on what you like. You may have 4 downlights above your head, and you may just use those, and all the other lights your pendants,
your wall lights,
when you're cleaning, when you want a lot of brightness in the room. But then you press another button and it will dim those downlights to 50%, 20%, turn your wall lights up, put your accent lights on, and that can be a nice comfortable light for you. And then you press another button and then it will turn those downlights off, just have your accent lights on it could be when you're watching TV or something. Really make it a minimal lighting, but still gives you a nice lighting effect, highlights a few things within the space, but doesn't detract from TV watching or anything else. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole idea behind automation. It's pressing one button and 15 circuits in that space, if you've got a nice big open space, doing what you want them to do without having a wall panel with 15 dials on it. You have to remember which one of those dials controls which circuit, and then spending 2 minutes trying to get them to the right levels. You can just press one button and they all go to a level you've pre-programmed and like. And if you like to change that, you open your app up, which all the customers will have, and you just change what that button does within 30 seconds. You say, I don't really like that light circuit being on, I'll turn that off, save. Next time you press that button, that light circuit doesn't come on, or it comes on at a different level that you've chosen. So hugely simplified. It makes lots of lighting circuits do what you want them to do without having to adjust them all the time, and you can have a panel. You can reduce, from an aesthetic point of view. You've got a nice 4-button keypad, backlit, all illuminated, hand finished to a high level, which is simple to use for anyone that comes in with a custom engraving if they want. So it's very simple to use for anyone that comes in, whether they know the property or not. Whereas you've got 15 dials, you have no idea what they're doing unless you've got name tags on them all, stuck on. I've seen it before. You go into a property, they've just finished a new property, they didn't want to go for the automated lighting we offered, fair enough. But they've got 15 dials on a wall and they've got little brass name tags on each circuit and, stuck on.
Christ.
And
Even though it's brass, I imagine it still looks crap.
It's high end. They've done a good job of it, but it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And it could have just been a single gang unit with 4 buttons on it, engraved into the metal work or into the button itself, backlit. Depends on the choice of the customer. And and that's what our business is about. We don't want to see those end results. We want to try and push for better, and that's what we try and do. That's what the showroom hopefully will encourage people to make a decision on. That's our ethos, really.
Tell us about the showroom, what people can see there.
So at the showroom, we've got the plant room, which shows the heart of everything, really. Should customers want to venture in there, it scares a lot of people, but it's all the racking, lighting systems, so you can see what's required to run a property like that. You've got a very nicely finished designed space that's designed to look like and feel like a customer's home would. We've got a kitchen diner at the top with a sofa, a big 4-meter window which has beautiful views out of that window. Obviously we've got our blinds integrated into that space, which disappear into the soffit. So soffits outside disappear into the window head, so that customers don't know they're there until you drop them, obviously. We've got a curtain track that recesses into a pocket. Again, you wouldn't know any of it's there, so you've got an unspoilt view that you can then choose how you pull a curtain across, or motorised, of course.
Lovely.
But you can close with the curtain, you can drop the blinds.
Doing a good job of promoting our business as well, there.
Exactly. Glass is essential, right? For the more glass, the better. Right? They're always looking at they're often looking at a beautiful view, whether it be seaside or countryside. That's what everyone strives for, I think, these days. They want if you can get there, you want a view, and you want to sit out and look at that view, and at the same time you need to cover that up from time to time for a bit of privacy or for a bit of comfort, obviously. We got that. We've got lots of different speakers within that space. So we've got a lot of different solutions in that space, and customers can come and hear invisible speakers, which are behind plaster. So they are, as they sound, invisible. So they can hear those. We've got 6 of those in that space. We've got 4 small aperture speakers, which are, as they sound, again, very small apertures showing, and then a big box inside producing all the high quality audio. Some conventional speakers, so your ceiling speakers, as you probably know them, big circles on the ceiling. Subwoofer hidden within the joinery, and you've got a 2.1 system doing a TV on the wall. It's a frame TV, so it looks like an artwork, but when you turn it on, obviously the speakers kick in, the picture comes up. So again, they can see that as a solution. They can hear different audio solutions. We can turn each of those speakers on and off. We can turn the subwoofer on and off, so they can make their own decision as to what level they like, whether they like 2 speakers in the ceiling on their own, whether they like 4 speakers in the ceiling on their own, whether they want 4 speakers in the subwoofer. They can really make a decision and customize what they want, and it makes things easier for us. It's a tool for us to sell, because we can say, okay, well, this is what you've asked for, this is it with a subwoofer, and this is the difference, and this is the value it adds, this is all the warmth it gives you, the low frequency and the power it gives you. You can make a choice then. You can choose to have that without that subwoofer, and you know what it's going to sound like in a similar space. So that's one room, and we've got a snug downstairs, which is a modest system, I would say. It's got a 4.1 system, so 4 speakers and a subwoofer. Again, the subwoofer's hidden in some joinery, and it's got a couple of bookshelf speakers and a couple of wall speakers that are painted in to match the finish, so they're very discreet. In there we've got a 75-inch TV and some really nice joinery made by a local company, and it's all painted green with the help of our interior designer, Charlotte, which wasn't my choice, but the outcome's been incredible. Yeah, it's a beautiful room, really cosy space. Every customer that comes in there absolutely loves it, which is obviously what you want to hear. So we've got a 4.1 system there, TV. It's an affordable, comfortable space that customers can imagine having in their own home. We've got an LED fire, so working with Cornwall Fires in Wadebridge, which is where we're based. They've shown some of their products in there, so that we can again give the customer an impression of what they might aspire to, what they might want to choose for their own home. We've got an office that we've built, which just makes us a bit more comfortable next door, and then we've got a bespoke home cinema, which is a large room, 3 meters high, 7.5 meters long, 5.5 meters wide, with tiered seating, so 2 rows of seating, 8 seats, and in there we've got 7 surround speakers, 3 behind a perforated screen at the front. We've got a 136-inch screen, 7 surround speakers, 2 subwoofers and 4 height channels in the ceiling, all fabric wrapped, acoustically treated, so done to an incredibly high standard, and something we wanted to show. We wanted to show what was possible with the right skills and investment. It's not an affordable room, even for us, of course, trying to develop a showroom. But it's just to show the right customers, if they want something like that, what can be achieved if you design it properly. So that's an incredible space. It's one we're again fine tuning on the audio side of things, but it's an incredible space. It's quite a beautiful space to sit. So there's no audio reflections. Everything's been acoustically treated. So even a space to sit in a bit of quiet. For a bit of quiet time and have a chat. It's a beautiful space for that. Obviously, then you've got the movies and the movie server and that you can run to really impress customers. And again, it's to give them that desire, really.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah,
I need to get over and check it out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm more than, obviously, I've been in this project. I've been planning this project for 5 or 6 years. We've been building it for a year. But the outcome is far beyond what I expected. We've pushed our skill levels, if I'm honest, to produce what we've produced. And it's been a great tool for us. We've learnt a lot along the way. So it's been a great tool for us, and it will continue to be a great tool for us because we can, get our staff can develop their skills within that space, and we can try new automation things that because we have all the tech there, that we can then offer to our customers as an option.
Awesome. So is it just residential that you do, or is it commercial as well?
We do commercial and residential spaces. We want to get into the commercial sector a little bit more than we are right now. The showroom is made out as a residential space, but absolutely there's no reason why we can't apply our skills to acoustic treatments, to very reflective spaces, cafes and things like that, which we have done in the past. Obviously, our audio applies to those sorts of spaces as well. Our visual solutions apply to those sorts of spaces. So, and we do a lot of commercial surveillance systems. It's a market we want to explore further. We have some commercial customers, but I would say 95% of our work is domestic.
Awesome.
And that works, a connection that usually comes through either somebody knowing that they want to have these services what's the overarching word that you describe? The smart home automation. There was a phrase.
Audio-visual solutions.
That's it. Audio-visual solutions. People might Google that or search for that and add Cornwall to it and come towards you. But also, is it developers, contractors, architects who introduces maybe their clients to you because they can see that there's a benefit?
Yeah, as you say, sometimes you'll get a client come straight to you. They've got a property already where they have these sorts of solutions, and they're looking for someone like us to deliver that on a potential second home within the area. But we're trying the showroom's a tool, as I say, and the idea of that showroom is to build relationships is to share that tool really with architects, interior designers, and ultimately and developers, as well as their end users, because it's a good tool to be able to make your selections. So the showroom, we want to run some CPD courses within the showroom. We've got one booked for the end of November now on lighting automation. So Lutron are coming down to do blinds and lighting. So I say blinds, window coverings and lighting solutions. So we're going to bring our interior designer, a lighting designer in who we work with, as well as an architect on one of those, and then we're going to invite other architects we don't currently work with for 3 or 4 sessions where we can extol the things I've spoken about today. We shouldn't be putting a 15-panel dimmer switch on a wall anymore. It's technology's moved a long way past that, and it's a very old way of thinking. So I'm not saying architects don't know that, but bringing some will, and obviously some won't. But it's just trying to not educate, but just trying to make people aware of what's out there, what's possible, and actually how simple it is. People hear the word automation, and it scares them, and it shouldn't, because automation is to simplify. It's not to make things more complicated. Yes, it's adding more technology. Yes, it's adding more complication from an installation perspective. But the idea of all that we do is to deliver a really good solution that's very simple to use. And that's the bedrock, really, because you do not want your customer or any of their people, or any of their friends coming into that property and questioning what button to press or what to do in a space.
It's great. It's amazing, and I think you've done such a good job with the showroom, and you should be really proud of it. It's fantastic. And the people that have been to see it have said it's not what they expected to see on Dunveth Business Park. This most amazing, homely showroom. Yeah,
exactly. Everyone who's been in has. A lot of them we've told that we're building a showroom, and they expected a showroom, but they didn't expect what we've produced. As I say, neither did I. It's beyond what I expected. And that's just down to the team, really. It's not. I haven't built much of it. I've given direction, but actually my team have been the ones that have built it. So, and the people we've worked with, and that's been key, really, because my idea. You've only got so many ideas yourself. You need to bring in other people with their skills to make it for that sort of outcome. You need different people, interior designers, builders, my team as well, to bring their own ideas to it to make your selections, really. So
100%.
So it's a fantastic space, and we just need to welcome more people in there, really, and broaden the awareness of it.
Amazing. So a client, for instance, could come along with an architect, or an architect could bring their client to visit the showroom and introduce them to the brand and the automations that you've got there for them to see.
Yes, the idea is that I would much prefer for an interior designer, an architect, and a client to come in together, because actually the interior designer and the architect are making a lot of decisions based on the customer's requirements or desires, but actually it's better for them to see it all at the same time, and then it's a joined up meeting whereby those decisions can be informed and made there on site. So great to meet the clients, but much better to meet with the architect, client, and potentially an interior designer if they got one on the project all at the same time, and then ideas will come out of that, I think.
Yeah.
I suppose everyone's on the same page then, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and it's just more awareness. It's better for us. We're broadening awareness, I think, of ourselves, but also what's possible with the whole group then.
And if that potential inquiry developed to be a project that you'd be involved in, you then prepare the information, the drawings, all specified, ready for the team on site that are actually building and executing. They build the joinery to support what you've specified. Is that right?
Yeah, we try and make sure we don't spread ourselves too thin on what we do on a project, of course. We're not joiners, certainly not skilled joiners, put it that way. We're not electricians. We can do first fix of our low voltage cabling. But yeah, to your point, we would, if a customer's happy to come on board with us and willing to pay a deposit for our services to get the ball rolling, we will produce a full document with a cable schedule, the architect's drawings overlaid with all of our products, all of our dimensions and product sketches, so that they can see exactly what's going in, exactly where it's going, and there's less questions going forward. As long as those documents are shared with the relevant people on site, which sometimes doesn't always happen. I've been to a project before where the joinery's been built, and the joiner said, "But I've never seen any of your plans." So that does happen. Sometimes it depends on the project manager, of course. But if those plans are shared with all the relevant people, then no mistakes can be made. And if they are, that comes back to us because we haven't provided the relevant information. So yes, it makes things clearer for everyone if we can then provide one document, and then that is shared with everyone, all the professionals on site, and then they can take all those elements into account when they're building the customer's products.
Amazing. Thank
Cool.
you.
So what do you do outside of work then? I like to get to know people about why they work hard throughout the week. What do you do on the weekends and evening?
At the moment, nothing, because this has been all consuming. But I play tennis to a relatively high level in Cornwall. Probably wouldn't be considered high level outside of Cornwall, but in Cornwall I play tennis to a high level. Represent our club at Wadebridge. We're really lucky where we live in Wadebridge. You obviously got the beach. I don't get in the water enough, but I'm into my mountain biking, so we've got the woods right next to us. So there's lots of options. If I want to go out on my own, I get on the bike or with some mates. But generally, it's an easy one to just jump on the bike as long as there's some daylight and get into the woods.
Nice.
Yeah, and if I get a chance to arrange some of my friends, I usually play a bit of tennis. They're my main interests. Got a 3 and a 5-year-old, so.
Oh, they keep you busy then?
Yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I thought you'd just have your own little cinema room of your own and just spend your whole life in there.
That would be the dream, but and that's the thing about the showroom. I haven't actually spent any time watching any films yet. It's been completed a couple of weeks. I have watched one film, but I had visions of the completion would happen. The rest of October would be sitting on the sofa looking at the view out the window at the top floor, watching a film, and then, mulling over my ideas and thoughts and processes, once it's complete. It's been anything but. It's just been back to work as normal. And I've shown, probably 50 people around, probably 30 people around the showroom already. So my days now, my responsibilities now it has become the showroom really and the sales. So what I do more often than not now is 1 or 2 people at least a day will come in and I'll give them a tour. And then it's about the follow-up and really contacting people who we've worked with for 15 years, 18 years for some of them, and letting them know what we're doing, what we've got, trying to get them to come along and, re-establishing those relationships and connections. So one day I'll be watching the cinema, sitting down watching movies, but not for some time yet until we've got those projects landing.
Plenty of time for that.
I hope so.
It's not going anywhere. It's lovely.
No.
Awesome. So where can people find you then if they want to work with you in the future?
Obviously, we've got a website and social media accounts and such, but we're based in Wadebridge, opposite Screwfix at Dunveth Business Park. Everyone knows where Screwfix is, so that's handy for us. If anyone's trying to find us, find Screwfix. We're directly opposite with the Smart House vans outside. Smart House Audiovisual, Wadebridge. Welcome people to come along and enjoy what we've got. Awesome.
Well, thanks very much for your time, Matt. It's been
Pleasure.
Really interesting to speak with you. So, you got anything to add?
One
Charlotte?
last question. What's the worst that could happen?
The worst that could happen beyond having a fire and the showroom burning down, which I don't even want to think about. The worst things that happen on projects are what I referred to a little bit earlier, whereby we've provided documentation, and sometimes, and it even happened with our showroom, but sometimes those things haven't been shown to everyone, all the relevant personnel who are building things. You have to go back, upset some people, and ask them to rebuild it to factor in your products. And in fact, it wasn't a mistake. Our joinery company did the joinery design for our snug, for example. We have an LED fire going in, which is very, very deep, quite large. And the subcontractor who was doing the installation didn't have the awareness of that component, and although the design was correct, he shaved a few bits off the back of the joinery to make it sit flush and join up with some detail we had. So he was trying to do a very good job. Turned out when the fire arrived, the fire wouldn't fit, so we had to pull the whole thing forward. So those sorts of things happen all the time. But you get over them, you find a solution and get through it.
There's rarely a problem that can't be solved.
So far.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. I've really enjoyed listening to you talk about the showroom with such pride and knowing more about the services, so people can pick up the phone, give you a call and make an appointment to have a tour.
That'd be great, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for listening. See you on the next one.
Bye.
What's the worst that can happen?